Hello, everybody. I'm at George Taylor's on-track audio this afternoon. I brought him a new couple boxes to try it, and then he said, "Can we do a video on this?" I am taking off my goggles so I can be the camera person this time, and he's going to put on his goggles.
I got to
so
put
he
on
can
my
look
goggles
close to it.
so I can see what's going on in here. So today we're talking about an amplifier, and here's the thing: it doesn't really matter which amplifier, right? It does, because I'm not talking about the amplifier. It does. Yes, we listen to it. Yeah, it sounds really good. It's an amplifier it's an integrated amplifier. It's purpose built for high capacitance and low noise, and it's got about 1.8 farads of capacitance. We're finding that when you get close to the 2 farad mark, that really seems to make a difference. So, and separate power supply to lower the noise floor. So those things are all cool. But that's not what I want to talk about. I'm not, you know what, we took the faceplate off it so you wouldn't see what model it was. I want to talk about the construction. So come here.
All right.
We got to talk about things. And I'm probably going to ask you some questions because I'm going to forget a couple of key elements. But if I don't, so be it. That's a good thing. So the first question we usually get in videos like this, and this is partly a video to answer questions we've had on other videos. What are these globs doing here? Why do they have to be there? Well, they don't have to be there, but we like them there because it's vibration dampening. What happens is the lid sits down on this, and it just dampens out any resonance.
I'm lowering down so you can see that those are just on the edge of the chassis.
Here.
There
See? You go. Okay.
See, if you put the cover on, the cover will actually touch those things. I call them rooftop helicopter pads.
That's kind of what they're like. You should put a little H in there so people can land the helicopter on the H. That's what they do. Don't ask me why.
Okay, give me an idea now.
Yeah, okay. The next thing I would like you to notice is that the layout of the wiring in here, there's completely a method to the madness, okay? If you look at the wires as much as possible, and there's a couple of places where this doesn't apply just because it can't be, but what you have to have, like for here, you have to have a certain length of wire. So this one's a little bit tight, but again, all of these wires work with the natural curvature of the wiring itself. So it's not bent in a 180 degree sharp loop like that. It's so that there's no chance of the coating cracking and breaking open to expose the wire, and there's no chance of there being an elbow made so that electron flow is constricted. So, and here, here's an interesting part here. This is really cool. Over here, we've got thin wires, and they're mounted the way they are so that they're completely airborne, number one. And number two, you see this black wire going around the red wire here? That's made to eliminate hum at 60 hertz and 120 hertz. It's basically a sheathing. So, important, and the lay, I mean, just how neatly and tidily this is for, I mean, people seem to like circuit boards, and okay, that's fine, but they're not going to transfer energy the way this stuff transfers energy. Now, copper bus bars, 14 gauge copper bus bars. The reason these are used instead of a circuit board is we've got 20 times the cross section of conductor to make sure that energy gets out of these 1.8 farads of capacitors and into the components it's supposed to get into. And I can't solder to save my life. I cannot do it. I'm the least talented solderer in the world, but I know good soldering when I see it, and this is world-class soldering. All of this. Look at the robustness of the solder joints. Okay, look at the conductivity that's happening in here. This is amazing stuff. It's to me it's always been, and a former co-worker of Angela Gilbert said it best, that this is basically artistry. This is basically soldering art, is what it is. So, I mean, yeah, it's an amplifier. It's got inputs, it's got volume, it's got speaker outs. one more thing. Oh, can I, you know what? Maybe I'll just lift this up and turn it around. That might be the easiest way to do it. And I'll try not to knock the microphone over. Actually, this is as far as I have to go. Come on over here. So, here are the power supply inputs. You'll notice that there's separate power supply input for the SP capacitor jack, and there's a separate power supply input for the FCF capacitance, but there's also upgrade jacks. So upgrades are simple. They're plug and play, right? And this is a really cool, convenient box because you have a separate power supply that's easily upgradable, and we have the coherence of this operating off a single power supply unit so that the input stage and the output stage can kind of work together. They can cohabitate and they can dance together like they're supposed to dance together, which is really neat. But the emphasis here is the amount of care and the quality of work of transferring energy to the components. And, you know, it's surprising, or maybe it's not surprising. I mean, you can't just slap a whole pile of capacitors on here. That's not. I mean, it looks like, oh yeah, look, we'll just throw in like, you know, a Farad of capacitors, and this will be a better amplifier. Well, if you don't know how to do it properly, no, it won't. First of all, if you don't know how to apply the power properly, you're probably going to burn half of the amplifier to pieces before you even get started. So there's an art in that, but knowing the size of the capacitors, where to apply them, how to apply them, that's the art. So that's what makes this stuff so different, so wildly different than anything else available. Again, I'm not going to talk about how it sounds. It's and as you can see, there's no fancy meters on it. There's no electronic readouts. There is a remote for volume only. So if you're looking for features, probably not for you. If you're looking for something that has the ability to apply energy to the components in such a way that you get a really, really musical result, this is the stuff for you. So that's really about all I have to say about it. But again, this is why you buy something like this as opposed to something that's got, circuit boards everywhere, and it looks like really mechanically neat and orderly and tidy. And I mean, to me, this has very much an order, but it's a different type of order. It's not all modularized circuit boards. It's got a different feel to it, and it's got a way different sound to it. And honestly, if you haven't come and listened to some of this stuff, you're fooling yourself that it's not good, because it is better than good. So anyway, that's all I have to say about it. Build quality, power supply, ingenuity that's off the charts. Come and have a listen.
And a statement?
What?
And a statement.
A statement? Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, we have a lot of silicone happening in here, and there are a couple things here. You'll notice that there's just some silicone trailing off here and some silicone tied together here. I mean, the silicone is important to hold the wires in place, but there's some things that don't need to be here. It's just a message. It's a message.
Point at that statement.
Point at that one?
That one.
You want me to point at that one?
Yeah. How about the other one?
Yeah, this one here, this little wee tiny one here, little subtle one there.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Yeah, that's a message. I'm not going to say who it's for or what it's about, but well, if I say what it's about, then we'll have to change the rating of the video. But anyway, it's just a message, so take it as is. Anyway, you got questions? Ask them. You want to come and hear stuff? You're more than welcome to. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.